I'm gonna ask what's your name and where you from.
I go by Daye, aka Daye. Um, and I was born in Fayetteville, '95. Um, but I was raised in Raleigh, Durham. Relocated to Spring Lake last year.
Okay. What was it like growing up in North Carolina, Fayetteville? You know, J. Cole is from Fayetteville. You know, what was it like growing up in that area?
Um, a lot of hating going on, and um, crab in the bucket mentalities. But I just I just really really stayed to myself. I didn't really have too many friends like that. I always was a loner, and like um never had really too many friends. So um I guess like coming up in Fayetteville, coming up in Raleigh, Durham, um you just had to get by. I mean, like I'm 25 now, so a lot of homies, a lot of people I know, it's not making it to see 21. Matter of fact, they not even making it to see the 18th birthday. Um, I know a lot of homies that got killed, um, and it's rough. You just got to do what you got to do.
So, what made you want to get into music?
Um, I was 9 years old, and I wrote I wrote a book um, in my fourth grade class. Never forget my teacher. His name was Mr. Crutchfield, and out of everybody in the school, he the one that believed in me the most. When a lot of the other teachers said that I was gonna flunk and I was gonna, be less than, he told me, you need to take, your writing seriously. Um, and also you need to take the meaning of you writing and creativity very seriously because one day you don't know if you're gonna need it. So I didn't understand at the time, what he was meaning by that. I was 10 years old, and so um, it didn't really hit me till when I was like 17 um, to really, take this thing seriously. Um, and as a kid, I had ADHD. So with that being said, I just was always had a sense of urgency. I've always had that energy, that hype energy. So um, that and then just the creativity part, put that together and just now look at me now, 8 years later. So
I smoke got a nigga coughing. So, how would you describe your sound, and what artists maybe influenced that sound, or maybe not influence the sound, but what artists you think you took from in your upbringing?
um
But you can start with how you would describe yourself.
I describe my sound as, excuse me, very loud. Um just by the way, like I was saying in the last question, my upbringing, and due to me having ADHD, and even though that's just a diagnosis, I just felt like just had to bring that energy. Like um, you have to, when you're not being noticed or when you don't have people around, you got to do two times more than what a normal person has to do. And like for me, like I'm gonna be honest with you, like I used to, when I was in school, used to be loud and used to rap loud in the classroom, used to rap loud outside, and people just were saying, "Stop all that loud shit. We don't want to hear that shit." and and like I never understood, why people were saying that. Um, but at the time, it was my energy, and you know, any any type person can be loud, and you can have that loud sound, but the lyrics and your energy has to match with the sound. It has to match with the. It just has to match. So I say that my sound is just loud, and my sound has perfected over the years. So, um, and the influence, the artists that I say that influence me, um, I have to say it was two artists, and these artists may not correlate, but I really took a um, big liking to Lil Jon and Eastside Boys, and I also um, listened to Ti, and the reason why I say those rappers, um, Lil Jon had that energy, and he had that loud, sound. He be like, yeah, and he be going off. But matter of fact, I wouldn't even say Ti. I would say Drake. Um, because the the mentality that he has, I haven't heard any song that he has ever put out was a bad song, and I've learned to, in order to be a perfected writer, in order to be a perfected artist like that, you have to, go through a downward spiral, and you know, so I say both of those artists put together, um, make me as a whole.
When you're making your music, how do you go about creating it? Do you pick a beat first? Do you already have some lyrics in your head? How exactly do you go about creating?
Oh yeah, pick a beat first. Um, Sometimes I just whatever I be feeling that day. I pick a beat. When I hear the beat, I listen to the beat twice. If I'm feeling the beat, I'll go with it. If I'm not feeling the beat, I won't go with it. But if I am going with it, um,
How come you listen to it twice?
um, the reason why was because the sound of what I'm hearing, I look for different, parts of what is happening in the beat. I look for the chords, of course. I look for the the drum, the different type of drum. Um, I just look for little keys and little symbols that, perfect the beat, and it really, if it's just not matching with, you know, what I'm rapping about or what I'm thinking in my head, I typically would not do it. Now there's been, a couple of occasions where um, I had to rethink my decision, and by me rethinking my decision, those songs actually became banger. Um, you just have to have a mindset where you can just do anything.
What's some music that you listen to that other people wouldn't expect you to listen to? Like you got your favorite Katy Perry song or Taylor Swift or what I'm saying, your favorite rock band.
Uh, I'm not. I've never, been a type person where I read anybody's wave, or I've never been a type person to um what they call dick ride. But what I will say, um, the greatest artist of this time right now, um, and that I will continue to listen to is Drake. Um, the reason why is because he's very versatile. You need the versatile music that we have. It's a lot of artists out there that wants to be. It's a lot of artists out there that's trying to be, but it's not too many artists that is. And with that being said, it's a lot of the songs that he's then the songs that he has written and that has did. My favorite song by Drake is a feature. It's Crew Love. I play that song all the time. That's actually one of the first songs that really drove me to actually start writing. Really, that song came out when I was like 16 or 17 years old. That song came out like 8-9 years ago. So with that being said, just his delivery, just his way of coming into the song and finishing out the song, get in and get out. He's actually the artist that really has taught me, like, if I'm going to do a song, don't keep the song going on too long. Say what you got to say and get off the mic. And that's what I've been doing.
Let me ask you this: what do you like doing better? Do you like recording music better, or you like performing?
Oh, that's a good question. I actually like the performing. And due to that is because the energy that I bring. I bring the same energy inside the studio. I bring the same energy as if I'm recording. I bring the same energy as if I'm writing. But it's just that energy that you see when you have so many people around you, when you have the peers, when you have people that you've been knowing for years, seeing this energy. And there's a lot of people sometimes in life, these people need that type of energy from a person, because they may be going through some things that may be hard for them. They may be struggling at times, but your energy can kind of enhance and kind of strengthen and kind of better their day. And that's the type of artist. I'm not a rapper, and please don't misconstrue that. I want to bring to the table where everybody's welcome. I want to bring to the table where everybody, feels like they're somebody, not just a certain type of group, everybody. So I would say, performing is just I'm just a hype person. They'll say that performance he rocks the house, and that's what I can go with.
So you say that your music is loud and that you were loud in class. Did that ever get you into any trouble? Whether that be class or whether that be, just out in the world, did it ever get you in trouble?
Well, it did, and it got me in a lot of trouble. But I guess it was the type of loud I was being, and I felt like, one part of me felt like it was cool. The other part of me still feel like it's cool. I got different parts of this. So what I say is that the trouble that has got me in, I done lost a lot. I lost a family. I done got back. I done came back and got one. Almost lost that one. And it was just, I always been the type person where I won't really being heard like that when I was younger. So, growing up and, wanting to be the star, wanting to be the light and stuff like that, when you ain't got that much support, like, it got me in a lot of trouble. It got me in situations where, I didn't want to be in. And
could you describe some of those situations?
oh yeah, first of all, um, I was with one of these females, and a month in our relationship, we she was pregnant, and I really made a dumb decision by just hanging around the wrong people, and just she was I was going to work, and she had a lot of situations going on, so it turned me to a person that I want, and we it was crazy, but also went to jail, and coming out of jail, doing time 6 months, and then um, also it's just excruciating stuff, like having something to prove at the jobs, and you know getting fired, and with all that. One thing that I can say, don't let your childhood spill into your adulthood, um, just because you want to be heard. um, it ain't good, and I'm just now learning that, at 25, and um, you just have to chill out, in the situations. Being homeless at 21 years old, not having nowhere to go, sleeping on the bridges, and shout out to Raleigh, shout out to R. Like being out there in them cold nights, you know what I'm saying? And you in an isolated situation where you ain't got nobody to turn to. That's what really made me wake up about the loudness that I was, was being. And it took me 3 years. The first year, I felt like, being in this situation was cool. I was 20, 21, going on 22. I already had a child. 22 went to 23. Mid-year, I was like, all right, but that very last year, before I turned 24, I said to myself, I can't keep going through this. Like, I'm 6 years from 30. Now, I'm like 4.5 years from 30. So, which means, like, I started looking at my future, and I was like, this can't go on. It really took me to having my daughter, to really understand that lifestyle wasn't for me, and that loud shit had to stop, and it's a different type of loud I had to be. So I start, focusing on how can I better my homeless situation, get me out of that situation. I started working again, and start staying committed. And once I started staying committed, I saved a lot of money, and after that, we moved down to Spring Lake, Fayetteville again, and I started seeing things turning around for me because I use the loudness in a different way.
That's dope. Is there anything that you want to say to the people that are watching? Any messages you want to give them?
I got 4 messages, and these messages not long. First of all, be honest with yourself. That's one of the key things that's gonna, get you ahead. With anything that you have to do, anything that you putting your heart and soul into. Number 2, stay committed. The commitment issue, because somebody in our life, somebody in our past won't committed. So now we don't know how to be committed. And, that's not our fault, but at some point we got to take responsibility. And that's what comes with my 3rd message. Responsibility is the key. You just can't take responsibility for, what you do, what you say. It just just will never work for you. Is you got the music industry, and then you got the dope people. And what I mean by dope people is, um, the music industry is taught to, you can't say this and you can't say that, whereas the dope artists is, what we really call underground. It's freedom of speech. It's freedom to say what you want to say, how you feel, and you don't have to get no pay cut behind it, or you ain't got to get sick behind it, or you ain't got to get your career cut short because of what you have to say. So always take responsibility. My last message for y'all is be humble. And this is the most important message that I want to give y'all. I went through a struggle. I was in the homeless community for 3.5 years, and I was still out there rapping. I still was out there making music every day. I had performances, little shows and stuff like that, but I never complained about my situation. I never complained about the people that was not there. I never complained about, and I never, when I got some type of exposure, I never got big-headed. And that's one of the things that we all have to remember, because the same way you get an opportunity, the same way an opportunity can go away, just like that. So you always have to be on point. You always have to be on 50. You always have to have a positive attitude, because you don't never know who's watching you. So just be humble.
Well, I appreciate you.
I appreciate you.
All right.
Appreciate you.
There we go.